Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. I hope everybody is having a great week so far. I did not record a video on yesterday. I had to take some time out to restore and, refresh myself. That's very important that we take time out for self because if I'm no good, then I'm no good to you or to anybody else. So I had to do some reflecting, do some praying, some meditating, and now I feel all refreshed. I had, a lot of issues on my mind that I wanted to talk to God about, and I wanted Him to just like reveal to me what it is He's trying to teach me as I go through different things and different situations in my life. Sometimes, we look to other people to give us the answers to the questions that only God can answer. And that's why I think it's important that we take a step back from talking to other people and just kind of isolating ourselves a bit so that we can talk to God so that He can give to us the answers that only He can give to us. He speaks to us all the time, but when other people are constantly in our ears, it's very difficult for His word to get through. It is true that He will speak to you through somebody else, but only after you have taken that time out to get centered and be still and talk to Him. Then you come back, once you come back out and someone can give you a word and you can discern whether or not that's a true word from God or if it resonates with you, and that's how you'll know. This morning, what I want to talk about is let go and let God, and just give it to Him, and how He can make a difference in your life once you step out on faith and just give it all to Him. I know at times I find myself in situations where I will like go to people, and because I might need something, I may need to borrow a couple dollars to get me through. I'm no different than anybody else. I have difficult financial situations, that may arise from time to time, not too often, but from time to time, I may have to go and ask somebody for this and ask somebody for that to get me through. But I'm praying to God that I be the lender one day and not the borrower. You know, I it's not a situation that I like to be in. It's not something that I like to do, and I'm going to just reveal that when we think we need to do that, oftentimes we really don't need to. We really can get through. It's just that our flesh is so used to having something, and we feel like if we don't have that thing that we're not going to be able to make it. But some of the things that I have like needed, well, I have thought that I needed, I really didn't need. It was just a want. And really and truly, if I had waited just a few days, or if I even just wait a few minutes, the things that I needed, I would realize that I didn't really need it, or there's an alternative way to get the things that I need. So we have to just let let God be God in our lives. I often go to the beach, and I sit out there and I pray and I meditate and I read and I write, and I sit there and I watch the surroundings all around me. I see the birds flying, and I see the ocean, the waves going up and down, and I look at people. I'm very observant. I'm very quiet, so I have a lot of time to just sit back and observe people, animals, and I look at it and I say, if God take care of the birds, the birds, they're just flying and soaring in the air. They don't have a worry in the world because they know that, God is going to take care of them. They have that much faith that they don't have to worry about, okay, I don't have but $5. How am I going to get through the week? They don't worry about that because they don't even deal in terms of money. They know that, the person, God, that God created them, so He's going to take care of them. It's no doubt that when they wake up early in the morning, singing, they wake up singing praises to God because they know that just as God took care of them on yesterday, He's going to take care of them on today. And this is the freedom that I want to experience in my life. And it's a freedom that I've already experienced, but I just have to take a hold of that and know that whatever I've always needed, I always had. The times that I borrowed, I didn't even need to borrow if I had just just held out. Another sec, another second, I had what I needed when that the next second came upon me. I had what I needed. I didn't have to go to anybody for anything because God takes care of me. And God will take care of you, but you got to let go and let God. You got to let go. You got to let go of the worrying. Worrying doesn't do anything but make you sick. I have worried myself, in the past into having heart palpitations and anxiety attacks and anything that you can name. Just worried myself sick about something that I had no business worrying about, and about something that never even happened in the first place. I mean, it's not good to worry about things that, especially the things that are essential, because if you look back at your life, your past will always be proof. It will always give you the proof that you need, that if he took care of you then, he will take care of you now. I mean, but you have to have faith. You have to have faith, and you have to release the worry from your mind. The worry about what if and all the what ifs. Those are just tricks of the enemy. He wants you to think what if, and he wants you to compromise yourself and do something for money that will probably potentially cause you harm in the future or get you in some trouble. And everybody know that that's not the route to take, because every seed that's sown will harvest. When you will reap a harvest from, whatever it is that you do. If you ill-gotten gain, if you get something in a negative way, it's going to come back for you. So I try to keep my hands clean from doing things that way. And I try to always just, rely on God for everything that I need. And I think a lot of times that my faith has built over the years because I'm self-employed. When you're self-employed, and I mean, it's kind of like people who have a job, they have a little bit of security because they know that as long as they go to work, they'll have a paycheck. If they get paid every week, they know as long as they're clocking in and clocking out, they'll have a check coming. Now, the downside to that is that they can be downsized. The company can downsize and they can be laid off and they can lose their job. And that's something that they have no control over because they are an employee. Their employer can say at any given point, your services are no longer needed in this company, and they can lose their job, just like that. And on the other hand, being that I am self-employed, I have worked for people, and I have felt I guess it's like a false sense of security because, I knew that as long as I went to work, I would have a check. But at the same time, I knew that at any given moment, the company could say that they no longer need me. So that was a feeling that I never want to have. But the faith that being self-employed has given me is that, I'm just out here, running my business, not knowing, what's going to come up or, but my faith has strengthened so much because God He has always made sure I had what I needed to do what I need to do for myself and for my family. So, and it's kind of like I'm out here just like in limbo, not clocking in to nobody's job, just relying on relying on God, just like a bird. Just like, I'm just out here flying. I'm just out here flying, just doing what I can do, and allowing God to do what he does. And I promise you, he has never, ever, never, ever, ever failed me. He has never failed me. There has never been a time where I have lost like business to the point where I went under. It never has happened. And I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you of the goodness of God. And I'm just trying to let everybody see that if we trust and rely on him and just let go, take our hands out of the pot and let God, take over. If we just do, we're going to do what we can do because, he does say you take a step and I will take the next step. But don't take a step towards worrying. Don't take a step in the wrong direction towards something that's that could get you in trouble later. God can't bless no mess. If you got your hands all in a mess, that ain't got nothing to do with God. If you're getting things in a wrong way, or if you're going about doing things in a wrong way, we have to let go and just let him, you know, do what we can. Pray to him. He knows what we need before we even ask. So once we do that, sit back. And then another thing I want to talk about is the people that we think, when we go through different difficult times in our lives, and everybody had that go-to person. For me, for most of my life, my go-to person was my mother. And with the economy being the way that it has, it's come to a time where, instead of me going to her, my mother's coming to me, and I don't mind helping because that's my mother. But there will come a time when you know, when you feel like, you can go to a person and they may say no. And you may feel in your heart that they said no, but I know that they probably was able to help me. Don't get mad when a person tells you no, because that's just God once again showing up, telling you, rely on me. Take a look at whatever you think you need. I mean, some things like food, shelter, those things are essential. I mean, if that's something that you don't have, and there are plenty of like homeless shelters out there that you can go to. God always provides. It may not be to the level that we want it on, but if you have to go to a homeless shelter, you still got a roof over your head until you could do better and get your own place. So you have to look, you have to, don't, let me get back to my point. Don't get mad when people tell you no, because that could be something that God is getting you to grow through. He's trying to get you to rely solely on him. Rely on God and not rely more on God and less on people, because people will always disappoint us. They will never do exactly what we think they're going to do. The ones that we think are going to be there, they're not going to be the ones that's going to be there. Now, God will send someone in our lives to bless us. He has done that many a times in my life. He will send somebody, but the people that he sent to me, it was never people that I personally knew. It was never, I'm talking about the people who were there for me without expecting anything in return. It was never somebody that I knew. Never, ever. It was always someone that really didn't know me, had no intimate relationship with me, no biological relationship, wasn't, it was always somebody that I didn't know. So God will send someone to help you. So don't misunderstand me on that note. But the people that we think should, take a leap out and just say, here you go, because I got it and I see that you need it. That's not who's going to help you. So don't get mad when they don't help you. It could be that God is wanting to show you to rely solely on him. Rely on him, and he'll send somebody to help you, or he will miraculously make something happen. I remember in the Tupac song when he said, Mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. That line kind of sticks with me, because I recall a time in my life where I looked at my refrigerator and I looked at my cabinet, and it didn't look like I had anything that went together. I had, like how in Friday, milk, no cereal, and, peanut butter, no jelly. It was a situation like that. And I looked at myself and I looked at my children and I said, we need to eat. What am I going to do? And I remember I broke down that day and I cried, because my pride, sometimes we got to put our pride aside and let people know what we need. My pride would not allow me to call anyone and say, we are in need over here. I felt like I couldn't do that at that particular time in my life. And I cried and I cried. I didn't call anyone. But what I did, I came and I looked at my cabinet and I looked at my refrigerator for the umpteenth time. But on this time, I found ingredients that I needed to make a meal. And my children said that was one of the best. It was something I had never made before a day in my life. but I took ingredients and I mixed them. I won't say I did it. It was miraculously, like Tupac said, Mama made miracles. God, God made a miracle that day for me and my kids. I mean, and He can make a miracle for you and yours. He can make a miracle for you if you don't have any kids. But we have to look to Him. We have to let God, let God be God in our lives. We got to get out of His way. We can't ask for something and then go and try to do something to make it happen. No, we can make things happen, but we have to put God ahead of us. We can't be ahead of Him. We have to put Him ahead of us. I hope everybody have a great week. Have a happy Tuesday. I will see you all back here on Friday. Blessings.